There are many ways that contracts can appear valid because of superficially having the elements of offer, acceptance, and consideration, or some alternative to consideration like promissory restitution or promissory estoppel. But these agreements, in fact, are not enforceable at law. The most obvious category of unenforceable agreements are the ones that are totally against the public interest. So there are things that are simply wrong for society, like slavery. Likewise, contracts to sell yourself into slavery are unenforceable. Courts will not honor those agreements, even if you desire them, because they're abhorrent to our social values. Contracts can also be made unenforceable when they're made by someone who doesn't have what we call the capacity to contract. A person might be incapacitated because, for example, they have schizophrenia and are not perceiving reality properly. So they enter into a bargain in which they appear to be understanding normally, but they don't actually understand the deal they're striking. As a result, the contract fails because the person at the time was incapacitated when forming the contract. Someone who's extremely drunk and signs something without having any knowledge of what they've signed, likewise, probably didn't enter into a voluntary, volitional exchange. Remember, the heart of contract law is that by parties entering into bargains that they think rationally will make them better off. That moves society slowly but surely to allocate property at its places of highest value. That will help property go to its best use and increase the social welfare of the entire society. Well, a person who isn't thinking clearly, or isn't perceiving reality, or is not capable of these things, is not going to get this result from his or her agreements. We also have in most states people who are called, as a matter of law, infants. It just means someone under the age of majority, in most places 18. People under 18 or infants can only incur voidable obligations, and this is designed to protect young people. However, these statutes can have a negative effect also. Other people are wary about dealing with infants because at any time the infant could refuse to honor his or her obligations. So maybe you tried to get a lease for a car when you turned 16 and just got your driver's license, and found out that no car company would make a lease with you. Well, that's because they knew you could void that lease at any time, which would not work out in their financial interest. So it's a good reminder we have to be careful about how much we use contract law to protect people, because there's always unintended consequences from the law. Once again, we see that the purpose of contract law is to allow people to declare what they value most. By using their faculties of reason, a person can enter into the marketplace and decide how a transaction will improve his or her value. And when a party is not entering into that marketplace with full faculties, either because of young age and not having been fully developed, or because of being incapacitated for any number of reasons, then this purpose of contract law is not being fulfilled by enforcing that obligation. And such obligations will often be deemed unenforceable.